Hi. Before we discuss the stocks that we can keep in the watch list for today, we will take a look at the stocks which we discussed yesterday and how they performed intraday and towards the end of the day. So the first stock is Graphite India Limited, and it actually closed around 3% from the previous session. But intraday it went up to if you look at it, it went up to 615. There was around 5% from the previous day's close. But eventually it gave up all the gains. But the other one we actually discussed, but we did not keep it in the watch list was HEG, which closed well above 5%. So it was around 6% towards the close. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, like we always see both of them move together. So yeah, that is why we suggested both actually. And the next one on the list is Hathway. It went up actually from 26 the previous day. It went up to 28. That was intraday. I mean, it was good move, and it was okay. I mean, still it can go, but today we will discuss an entirely new set of stocks. EKC is another stock. So it went up from 152 to actually 164, almost 163.30. Then it closed relatively near the high actually. Then the New India Assurance Company, it actually shot up to 290, then actually gave up most of the gains. So if you look at the 5 minute chart, yeah, it was in the opening, so we could not have caught that moment. So whenever you see something like this, a very big bar, you have to at least consider entering only when it moves at least to this level. I mean, the 20 period moving average. After that, if you have taken and if it still does not hold, you can cut it at the low of the candle or low of the day. So if you are taken here, you could have still lost 2% of the for this one. Yeah, not a wise good one, if I would say. But it did close well. But if you had only bought the stock at the open, you could have made some money. If you had entered here, then you could have lost a lot of money. That is why we see say keep the spreads, spread the bets, and then for in each stock you can put 25% or 20% of the planned amount. And that too, mostly if you have a big bar at the open, then if it starts hovering around the VWAP, you should always consider buying entering only after the initial opening range high is broken, and it did not actually. Coming back to the next one on the list, Reddington. So what it did actually, it opened. The opening was little wild. It went to 208 and then it came back, and it was hovering around the VWAP for quite some time. Then after this breakout, this is what you can actually plan for this entry. Like so, it actually closed. It was a high bar 206, and in the next bar it went to 212. That was a very good trade if you had taken for the intraday. And SMC Global, the open was good again. It was not even closing above the opening high anytime during the day. So that was not the candidate to do trading for the intraday. And Glaxo, yeah, it pretty much stayed the same level. Maybe if you had taken here, you must have actually, this was actually opening, I mean, entry, good entry, but the stop loss could have been kept here. Then, yeah, you must have lost in this position for sure. Cipla, yeah, it did not hold up the opening and it came down actually. So not a candidate that it could have chosen for trading. Yeah, Chennai Petro again did not hold the initial spike that was here, right? So yeah, so it opened at yeah, it opened low actually. Then actually throughout the day it was mostly yeah, it actually took support in the previous days support actually. Yeah, this is the support in the intraday time frame that we are. Yeah, the final one is again this stock did not perform well. Actually, it opened very weak and stay like actually it opened well. Actually, it closed above the first 5 minutes. Yes, it closed above. Hi, we'll take the look at hello. Hello everyone. Did Hello everyone. Yesterday we put a watch list of 10 stocks and we'll take a look at their performance during the day and towards the end. And then we will discuss these stocks that you can keep in the watch list for today. So first we will look at the first one on the list. Yeah, we'll start with the graphite. It it did open actually almost flat. Then it went on like 5%. Then it was stable for a while, and towards the end, it gave up some of the gains it made during the earlier in the day. Then, but we also discussed the other one which did well throughout the day, HEG. So HEG, it opened flat almost. Then actually it went up to 1977. That was around 6%, and it did close strong towards the end. So let's look at the second one. Hathaway, like the opening was like very good, but throughout the day, it actually stayed in the range, and in the one big bar towards the end, actually just before 30 minutes before the market close. EKC did well actually. It closed 5% above, and it was strong all throughout the day, and closed towards the high of the day, which is another indication that it can actually continue the rally today as well. NIACL, there was a very good opening, 290. That was around like 5 and 4 more percent, 4 or 6 more percent. It actually, the very first bar, it went from 270 to 288. That's around 6-7% from the open. Then pretty much it stayed range bound after giving up the gains in the very first bar. Reddington was good actually. It opened very well, and there was a nice movement, and this is where typically you can consider entering after the consolidation and the very first bar, big bar above the VWAP. It is a very good entry point for most intraday traders. So that actually performed well. From 206 it went up to 212. That could have been very good trade. SMC Global, again, we had never enter a stock if you see some bar like this in the first 5 minutes. And all the stocks we are discussing here, you can consider entering after the 15-minute opening range. That is, you can consider after 9:30, or you have to wait until 2:30 to see that it breaks the high of the day actually, or a consolidation, and there is a big breakout and close above the VWAP. So that those are the entry points. So we'll put a separate video on all these entry points that are profitable during the intraday trades and with high probability. Of course, you still have some trades which can go against. Glaxo pretty much flat. Yeah, Cipla was below the trading below the VWAP most of the session, and Chennai Petro, it actually never went up. Actually, it opened low, and actually it took support in the previous day's support, and it can hover around this region for a couple of days before it takes any direction. Yes, it did cross 1,000. Yeah, we had discussed this yesterday. So those stocks which are hitting 1,000 for the first time, actually they pretty much close low, and they also give up on at least 10%. So 933 is the level you can look out for before you can enter in ACE. And sometimes they fall further to, if it is a bear market, it can reach up to 830. These are two support levels for ACE. And yeah, now we'll take a look at the stocks which we can keep in the watch list for today. Okay, so these are the 7. I said 7, no? 7 is coming in my mouth. Okay, now we'll take a look at the 10 stocks which you can keep in the watch list today. So first one is Subex. Now, why we have Subex in the watch list? You can see that at the bottom the volume is so high in the recent weeks. So now yesterday it actually above the previous high, and it was steady actually. It actually closed near the day's high, which means that we can still see some action today as well. So the next one on the watch list is LIC Housing. For 3-4 days it is actually moving in a very small tight range, And given the action in other real estate stocks and housing finance and PSU stocks, this stock can actually burst and give a very big breakout any of these days. So we can keep that in the watch list. And one of the advantages you can see in LIC housing is it is very slow. So probably it won't give a gap up opening. So if it is opening in the range of 1 to 2%, you can still consider and enter the stock when it moves away from the opening range. For the first few minutes, 15 minutes, you can watch the stock and then slowly enter the stock. And Brigade, we love it because it actually closed above 1000 levels again very comfortably, and it can actually continue the rally very without any resistance. And Astra Microwave is a different story, like closed all-time high, so you can keep that in the watch list. The next one is the very interesting NITIN Spinners. So this is one of the very profitable companies in that space, and they have huge expansion plans, and actually they have realized gains from the recent expansion. That is why there is growing interest in the counter, and you can actually keep it in the watch list. This can have wild fluctuations intraday. So if you keep a tight stop loss when you trade this stock, don't enter when there are long bars. Patel Engineering, again, it's a cakewalk. Even if you can't, if you have a small holding in Patel Engineering and if you don't see much action, you can even carry it for 2 to 3 days or even for a week, keeping the stop loss at 68 or something. Schneider Electronics, Schneider Electric is a German giant. It is the owner of the luminous brand inverters, which are the number one inverters in India. So keep a close watch on this stock as well, and you can trade it for intraday. But don't enter if it is opening 3% or above. Let it pull back for a while and then enter. And PRAJ Industries, so this has like taken support at this level. So there was a congestion recently, not recently, actually it was just 3-4 months back, and now again we are seeing some action in the stock which can continue. 536 can be kept as a target for intraday, but don't again enter the stock if it opens. If there is a gap opening, it is better to avoid the stock. Yes Bank. Okay, so this is a controversial stock again. There is a lot of action in the stock, but the price has not moved much. And yesterday there was a spike in volume again, and this stock is like in so many retailers are holding this stock, and their price is like way above the current price. So that is why we see a lot of pullbacks, because the retailers are trying to get out of the stock at every spike. And now that retailers, the stocks have moved out of weak hands and the strong hands are holding, it can move high. So now we also have a holding stock, holding company, TVS Holding, like Tata Investments, so many BF Investments, Kalyani, Bajaj Holdings. This stock can actually go up to 10,000. It can go. Don't enter the stock if there are big long bars in the opening. So these are the stocks you can keep in the watch list. Spread your bets and be patient. Cut the positions if you see sudden drop, and always have a stop loss. Trade safe, and we'll take a look at the performance tomorrow, how these stocks perform today. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow.